Welcome back, GTC Shane. I've bought a lot of cars, guys, and I have wasted a lot of money.
There you go.
Thank you, sir.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
As you know, I tend not to keep my cars very long. In fact, leasing a car tends to be the length of how long I keep my vehicles, which is why I've leased them in the past. But I will tell you, I have learned a few things, and I feel like I'm a fairly decent negotiator, both when it comes to leasing a vehicle and buying a vehicle. And I want to just drop a few tips of things not to do when you're shopping for a car. Let's get right into it. So there's a ton of videos out there like this, but I just wanted to share how I go about doing my research. If I've got a car I'm locked into, I've researched it, I tend to just probably over the top read every review. I read customer reviews. I do all the online reviews from the biggest car channels. And so once I think that I like the car and I've done all my research on it, I then go into the next phase of looking at availability. Configuration. Sometimes I go onto a website and I will build ad nauseum the exact build of how I want it over and over and over again until I feel like that's the one I want. And then I go out and I search for it and I find it. And once I've sort of locked into a dealer, I will make a call. And here's where things can go south. You need to be able to be in charge of the conversation. Do not let the car salesman dictate to you their particular script or MO or how they go about selling things. So the first example is they'll always say, when can you come in?
No matter what they say, you say, I'll walk out of here right now.
Can I help you with something?
Hold it! One more step and we're walking!
And I tell them I'm not. And I tell them I'm very serious, but I'm not coming in because they haven't told me the information that I've wanted. So right away, they go, oh, okay, what's the information? So I tell them, I go, I need an out the door price. I tell them I am shopping, cross-shopping very rigorously. I've got multiple dealerships that I'm talking to, so they know I'm serious. And I do not disclose if I have other prices from other dealers, because that tells them I might have a really good price, and I'm not going to allow them to try and counter or say, well, what's that price? And we'll try and beat it. No, you give me your best price, right? So now I've already told them I'm serious, I'm cross-shopping, I want your best price. That way they're not giving me the whole, well, what's your budget? What's your monthly payment going to want to be? No, because that's a shell game. They will bloat or shrink to meet your budget, and you'll take it up the pipe every time. Don't do it that way.
She's sticking it to me.
You're crazy.
Sticking it to me, Jerry.
George.
Sticking it!
So they get back to me. They give me the price. If I think it's reasonable, I will continue the conversation. If they're not anywhere close, I literally will say, thank you so much, have a good day. And they'll be like, well, is that something you're interested in? I'll just say, nope. And if they want to try, well, what's the deal? I'll move on. I'll move on until you find a salesman or a dealership that is willing to sell you something that you have already done your research on. Okay, so let's bypass that. Let's say I found a dealership and they say, okay, I'm going to give it to you for X. And you're like, okay, sounds good. And then you tell them, I will be in on this particular day. And when I show up, the first thing they say is, oh, do you have a trade? Nope. Not going to talk about that. Are you paying cash? Nope, not going to talk about that. You're going to lease or not going to talk about that. That is irrelevant. I'll tell them that. This is irrelevant until I know that I want the car and the sales price is exactly what I want. If you do have a trade, don't show your hand yet.
I have no hand at all.
Hand is tough to get. You got to get the hand right from the opening.
Right? Because they're gonna do the shell game again. They might give you more for your trade, right? But they're gonna charge you more on the car. So you lock in that price of that car, out the door, tax, tip, title, license. Okay, you have a number, 40,000. Cool. Now I have a trade. Let's talk about the trade. Here's my Kelley Blue Book. Here's what I want for it. And they come back, okay, here's what you're gonna give you for it. Cool. Now you're in charge of this conversation. You should have already done the math on your payments. You should have known how much you're going to put down. You should know exactly what interest rates are. I would go to your local bank, your local credit union. I would get online, research Lending Tree, whoever else you look at to see what competitive APRs are for your credit score. Because it's the final thing they'll get you on. If they're not going to get you on the MSRP of the car, the price of the vehicle, they're going to get you on your trade. If they're not going to get you on your trade, they're going to get you on the loan. And they still may get you on the loan because they may turn around and sell it for a half a point, higher or whatever, and make a little money on that. But at least you're going to go in there competitive, know what you're worth, know what your interest rate should be. So now that should all make sense. You should know exactly what your loan's for, your interest rate, do your math on your term. There's no surprises. That's how I work things. You guys need to be in charge, because if you go in there and have no idea, you're going to get that magic square with the 4 boxes. It says, here's your trade-in, here's your cash down, here's your interest rate, there's your monthly payment. It's a big circle on it, and how does that sound? And you have no idea. That payment may look real good to you. You have no idea what you're even paying for the car. They never disclose that. So that's my approach. I try to dictate the way that the situation goes. It always seems to be favorable. I think they see right off the bat that I actually am an educated car shopper, car buyer. In terms of the lease, you got to do the same thing. You've got to know how a lease works. It's different. The interest rate is the money factor. There's a very simple formula for that. And so you've got to take that money factor it's an abstract number for most people. It can be like a 0, 0, 1, 4, 5, 6, something like that, and you have to multiply that. I think it's by 2,500, and you get your interest rate. So you got to know how to multiply that to calculate your interest rate. You've got to know how they work lease terms. They base it on residual value. So if you have a BMW, it's got a high residual value. They're going to put it at 54, 55%, which means at the end of the lease, there's going to be a 55% residual value left on that car. The remaining is what you finance over that 3 years, multiplied by your money factor. And then they have like a lease, some sort of a lease charge, like $40 every month on top of your payment. So that's another thing you want to make sure, because sometimes they'll give you a quote and say, oh, it's $799, and then there's this little thing in the corner that says, oh, plus tax and blah, blah, blah. So you need to know exactly what that payment is. And the final thing I would say on most vehicles, if you don't have to put money down, don't put $1 down. If you're leasing or financing a car, you're using the bank's money. You're already, if you're not paying cash, and what are you doing? Because it's like $20 per $1,000 you put down. So do the math. You're putting big chunks of change down, and you're dropping your payment like $80, $90, maybe $100. So keep your money in the bank. If you're already financing, get a good interest rate, keep your cash. It's not going to do much unless you're really trying to put half down or 3/4 or pay cash for the car. I don't do it. And on leases, the only thing you have to pay is first payment, tax and title, and that's it. So it's like $1,600 or something like that. That's it. Don't get sucked into $3,500 down or $5,500 down. That's not going to help you. Anyways, happy shopping, guys. Make sure you do your research. Let the car sales guy know that you are in charge of the deal, because it is your deal at the end of the day, and you need to be happy about it, because once you leave that lot, they don't even remember your name, and they're moving on to the next one. All right, happy shopping. Hope you guys get some good deals out there. Take care. Until next time, Shane, Guys Talking Cars.